Good Friday afternoon, Houston. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro. We made it to Friday, and I know you're looking forward to the weekend, so I'm going to give you an extended outlook as to what we can expect for the next few days, the long-range outlook, the tropics, the drought monitor, everything, or hopefully everything that you have a question on, I'll try to touch on. Right now, radar is nice and quiet. We've got a couple of clouds streaming in on satellite, but the shower activity is pretty confined to the coastline. So Matagorda is seeing some rain, but it's just that, a couple of lone popcorn showers, so they just flare up and then die down. Bay City to Palacios seeing the most activity, a little bit of most likely sprinkles for El Campo, or maybe even Virga, which is some rain that evaporates before reaching the ground. Just doesn't look all that substantial, and it's not going to be all that troublesome for this afternoon even, because we are pretty limited on how much moisture we're going to stack up throughout the next few days. It's just a 20% chance for today, for Saturday, for Sunday. Our high temperatures are going to be in the low 90s. So 90 degrees for today, 90 on Saturday, 91 on Sunday. That's nice and comfortable. Speaking of comfortable, the island looks beautiful. Yes, there are a couple of billowing clouds. Some of these could give you a few isolated showers this afternoon, but for the most part, it's not going to impact any plans that you had to go to the island. You'll notice plenty of sunshine to be enjoyed there. 87 degrees. We are 2 degrees less warm than where we were yesterday. The breeze right now streaming in out of the east is at 10 miles an hour, and it feels really nice. Going for an afternoon walk, I recommend it. The wind makes it feel a little bit better. With the humidity, it feels just a degree warmer. 87 feels like 88. How about elsewhere? Temperatures are in the mid 80s for Pearland, 85 for Galveston, 87 Brenham and Tomball. It's a mixture of sun and clouds out there. And there's a little bit of a breeze working too. So the wind, you'll notice anywhere between 10 to 15 miles an hour, calm in a few spots, Brenham and Cleveland, but a little bit of a breeze does continue as we head into our Saturday and Sunday. So that'll feel nice, help us cool us off, especially for any outdoor plans that we might have. For example, if you're going to the Greek Fest this weekend, you'll have some relief with that little breeze. I know historically it's been pretty hot during the Greek Fest, especially because most of the activities are outside. Well, this will be something that helps you out. So that's a snapshot at 2 o'clock. The wind 10 to 15 miles an hour. And that's the same thing for your Sunday. So whether you are staying downtown in Harris County or going to the coastline, you run the risk of really low rain chances. So here's a snapshot of the next 3 days. We'll break it down for the next 3 days. First, a little bit of moisture in the Gulf. Some of that starts to want to scoot up to the coastline. The chance that these showers move to the I-10 corridor, I'm not all that impressed with those chances. Now on Monday and Tuesday, that's when we have a little bit better pull, a little better energy, more organization. So we hike up the rain chances to 30%. So that is a good thing in case you are planning outside activities, like for example your long runs. Here's your stride guide for this weekend. It is still going to be a little bit on the warm side, so we don't quite have the fall temperatures that help out our times. So we're in the low to mid 70s. You're probably still working in some slow miles, but at the very least you don't have to worry about rain or the threat of lightning or anything like that on your runs. Skies are going to be nice and clear. Sunrise times are continuing to get later and later, so be careful as you're waking up early and running in the dark. Maybe you wear some reflective gear, and of course don't forget, hydrate, drink your electrolytes, because when the sun does come up at 7:17, with the heat, the humidity, you sweating, you're likely to get pretty dehydrated pretty fast. 5 o'clock on our Friday, we could see a couple of showers around Harris County, so maybe a quick little raindrop here or there. Overnight Saturdays when we have our chance for some coastal showers, but the rest of our Saturday looks really good. Sunday, most of the morning in the clear. By 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when you can see that 1 or 2 lone shower, which is why I keep that 20% just in case. I don't want you to be caught off guard if you're having a beautiful sunny day and then all of a sudden one rain cloud moves overhead and you're like, what? Where did this come from? So there's a little bit of moisture in the Gulf right now, and here's where it's coming from. There's this open wave, so there was this leftover boundary passing through Florida that's trying to gain some organization, but look at that. It's been at 10% for the last 2 days. So the National Hurricane Center is still keeping the odds of this developing any further extremely low. That's because it's really interacting with a ton of land, which keeps things nice and tame. Regardless though, there's a little bit more moisture closer to us, so for that reason we hold on to a small chance for an isolated shower. That's it. In the central Atlantic, a better likelihood for organization over the next 7 days. This is from a wave that's come off the west coast of Africa, and if it does continue to develop as it's expected to do so slowly, it would get the next name on the list, which is Jerry. So we're still in the thick of it for hurricane season. Make sure you watch the forecast at least once a day so you can get an update on this. And remember I told you the moon was going crazy yesterday? It's still doing that. I really don't know what's going on with that satellite, but that's okay. Imelda is now a post-tropical cyclone, which means it's lost all of its characteristics that make it a tropical system, including a warm core, organization, and intensity. Now it is pushing into the northern Atlantic, and it is a fish storm. So we are going to be monitoring the potential for any coming front to bring us some more considerable rain, because we received the latest drought monitor yesterday. Remember, I updated you on this. If you missed it, don't worry, I'll give you the big update now. We've seen quite a bit of a setback from last month through this past month. So from August 30th through September 30th, we were fine, and now we're a little bit abnormally dry. So the yellow's okay. It's kind of like your standby caution. We're gonna slowly start slipping into the drought territory. Our western cities and counties, though, already under that low tier drought, which is moderate. Brenham, Columbus, and El Campo in that. You'll notice Austin is in a severe drought, and you can't see San Antonio here, but it's in red, and that is an extreme drought. So the state definitely needs some rain. Is it going to get some? Well, the outlook through the middle of October shows we're in the gray. What does that mean? It's pretty much normal, equal chances. We're not seeing any tendency towards above average rainfall or below average rainfall. It looks like a pretty run-of-the-mill start of the month. A little bit drier for Chicago all the way down to Oklahoma, northern portion of Louisiana. The wet weather is going to favor the desert southwest. So Southern California desert all the way towards Arizona and New Mexico up into Utah. That's where we have the bigger bullseye for rain potential. Also, the East Coast could see a little bit more rain probabilities. Temperature-wise, we're all pretty much on the same boat. Above average temperatures expected for a huge chunk of the country, and in the brighter red, so the higher heat threshold is going to be for Texas into Louisiana. So I know that is the biggest question I get this time of year is it's fall. When are we going to start feeling like fall? I think we have to wait just a little bit longer through the middle of October. Still looks pretty warm, and the 7-day really paints that picture quite well. Average high temperature for this time of year should be 87 degrees, and we are well past that. 90 for the high today, like I said. Up to 91 on Sunday. Notice overnight temperatures are starting to get warmer too. That's the effect of cloud cover, so it traps the heat at night. So we're waking up 75 Sunday, 75 Monday, low to mid 70s all the way through Wednesday. Now, once the showers clear by Thursday, that's when I think we'll see some nice relief. Any relief is good relief from the heat. So upper 60s for our Thursday morning, into the upper 80s is where we top off. Our next newscast is the 4 p.m. news with our meteorologist Chris Ramirez, and then our chief meteorologist David Paul is back with you tonight at 5, 6, and 10, so you know the drill. Make sure you get an update from them so you have all the latest details as to how to plan out your weekend. Have a great Friday.